Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into a critical and timely topic, the reasons why people of color, including Jamaicans, might face deportation from the USA. We're talking about the facts, the opinions, the whole shebang, because America, as we know, is a nation of immigrants. Except it seems when it comes to certain immigrants. So, let's break it down, shall we? Get ready to learn something, laugh a little, and maybe even shed a tear or two.
First up, we got to talk about immigration policies. Think of them as the rule book, but instead of determining if you get a yellow card for a bad tackle, they decide if you get to stay in the country. And let me tell you, these rules, they're not always fair. Some policies, they're like that referee who always seems to call fouls on one team. You know the one, right? We're talking about policies that disproportionately impact people of color. Things like stricter visa requirements for certain countries, or quotas that seem conveniently designed to keep certain folks out. It's like trying to win a game where the other team gets to make up the rules as they go along.
Now let's talk about racial profiling. You know, that thing where people make assumptions about you based on how you look? Yeah, that's a big problem when it comes to deportation. Imagine this. You're just walking down the street, minding your own business, maybe humming a little Bob Marley. Suddenly you get stopped by the police, asked for your papers, and bam! Next thing you know, you're on a plane back home.
Let's be real. Money talks in America. It's like that friend who always gets away with everything because they can afford a good lawyer. And unfortunately, when it comes to deportation, having money can make all the difference. You see, navigating the immigration system is expensive. Lawyers, court fees, filing fees, it all adds up. And if you're struggling to make ends meet, well, it's like trying to climb Mount Everest with flip-flops on.
Chapter 4: Criminal Records, a past that follows you. We all make mistakes, right? But for some people, those mistakes can have life-altering consequences, especially when it comes to deportation. You see, even minor offenses, things that might get you a slap on the wrist if you're a citizen, can be grounds for deportation if you're not. It's like the system has this giant scorecard, and every little thing you do wrong gets marked down. And once you reach a certain number of points, boom, you're out.
Chapter 5: Political Climate, the Winds of Change, and Deportation. Let's talk politics, baby. Because believe it or not, who's in the White House can have a huge impact on deportation rates. One minute, you've got an administration that's all about family reunification and giving people a chance. The next minute, you've got folks building walls, separating families, and deporting people left, right, and center. It's enough to give you whiplash. Chapter 6: Public Opinion, the Court of Public Perception. You know what they say, perception is reality. And unfortunately, when it comes to immigration, the public perception isn't always accurate. It's like that game of telephone, where the message gets more and more distorted the further it travels. You've got politicians demonizing immigrants, blaming them for all sorts of problems. You've got the media sensationalizing stories, focusing on the negative and ignoring the positive.
They say family is everything, right? But for some families facing deportation, that bond is put to the ultimate test. Imagine this, you're living your life, raising your kids, contributing to your community. Then, bam, you or your spouse gets detained, maybe even deported, and suddenly your family is torn apart. Kids are separated from their parents, spouses are left to fend for themselves, and the American dream turns into a living nightmare. And let's not forget about the psychological toll it takes.
Deportation doesn't just affect the individuals involved, it sends shockwaves through entire communities. Think about it. You lose a neighbor, a friend, a co-worker, a classmate. Suddenly, there's an empty space where they used to be, and that emptiness is felt by everyone. Businesses suffer when they lose valuable employees, schools struggle when students are forced to leave.
So, there you have it, folks. 10 reasons why people of color might face deportation from the USA. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. But one thing's for sure, we need to keep talking about it. We need to challenge our own biases, educate ourselves and others, and fight for a more just and compassionate immigration system. Thank you for watching.